And former Altron Group CEO Mteto Nyati has acquired a 40% stake in technology consulting firm BSG for an undisclosed sum and will become the company's executive chairman. The trailblazing Nyathi, who was CEO of MTNSA, Microsoft and recently Altron, will work closely with the executive management team to grow the company's market share, according to a statement released earlier today. Mteto Nyati joins us now to tell us more about this particular acquisition. Thank you very much, Mr. Nyati, for joining us this afternoon. You certainly want to leave a legacy when it comes to your experience, your role in the tech space. How do you intend to scale up this particular company, BSG?
Thank you so much, Kolani, for having me. BSG is one of those secrets of South Africa. It's been around for 25 years and has been focusing largely in the financial services and also the healthcare space. So it's been, if you look at some of its customers, they have been with the company for over 20 years. It talks to the kind of work that this company does. But I do feel, after having looked at it, that many other clients in other sectors need to benefit out of what it does. What it does is that, it focuses on helping implement strategy. This is probably the biggest weakness of many organizations in this country, where we've got these great strategies, but they remain unexecuted. So that's what this company does. It partners with management and the leadership team of the clients, and it helps to do that. And I think we need to be doing that beyond these key segments of the market that is currently operating in. So we'll be growing by targeting the telecom space, oil and gas, retail. Those are the areas where we feel that these particular customers would benefit out of the offerings of this company. We also have got a presence in the UK right now. I would like us to scale that operation in the UK and can help us to also move in other markets in Europe. So those are the areas that we will be focusing on. But the first priority is to strengthen our base here in South Africa, have a strong base before we even think about expanding globally.
How long has this deal been in the making? Because as recently as a couple of years ago, you were MTN CEO, then moved to Altron, and you were recently announced as the board member at Eskom, juggling these various roles. How long has it taken you to actually get to this point?
I started to engage once I announced my exit at Altron. That was in January this year. A couple of weeks later, I started to engage a number of companies, and this is one of those companies that I engaged. So it's since from that time, but of course I chose not to do anything whilst I was still with Altron. I began to act on it with a lot of focus after I exited at the end of June. So from that time up to now, that's how long it has really taken me.
The services that you offer, clearly they are concentrated in the private sector, but I'm sure government could actually benefit from these particular services, because one of the biggest problems is that there are a lot of good policies on paper. It's the implementation that we can't actually execute. And secondly, we know how lax our technology is in the public sector, with many attempts, some of them successful, some of them not, when it comes to hacking government departments and government services. These services are actually available to everyone when it comes to what BSG has to offer.
Yes, BSG can and does operate across all of the sectors. And in fact, a number of years ago, we were part of a team that helped SARS in its transformation of its technology platform. So it's something that we do. It's something that we can focus on. But of course, you do know that in the past, there were challenges around trying to get some work in government. Generally, there were certain things that were being asked of. For example, when it comes to operating in an ethical way, these are the things that sometimes it makes ethical companies find it difficult to deal with the public sector. And the good thing is that what we are seeing now is that with this very strong focus after the push of state capture, trying to get rid of state capture, we're getting back to how business should be done in a normal way, competing in an above board way. And in that way, we should be able to support many of the departments in the public sector going forward. But right now, our strength, it is largely in the private sector space.
2 weeks ago, you actually had an interview with the Sunday Times. It has solicited a lot of criticism, a lot of support when it comes to your views on black economic empowerment rules around localization. And you were talking about how important it is for you as a board member at Eskom to actually make sure that those rules are not a hindrance to making sure that we fix Eskom. Have you changed your views or altered them in any way? Were they taken out of context in what you said about BE rules in the country?
Excellent. I've been watching and I'm very surprised, honestly, with the reaction, because what I've realized is that many people, it was a knee-jerk reaction and they had not taken the time to read the article. We had a situation where the headline was a misrepresentation of what was being said in the article, and many people just look at the headline and reacted, and of course they said all sorts of things. But I was just surprised at the level at which we do not interrogate things, the level at which we look at things superficially. So I've not changed anything. I still believe that here and there we need to make some changes to prevent. This country is facing challenges largely because of corruption that has been happening. We need to make sure that we prevent this kind of thing from happening. The resources, the limited resources that we have, those resources need to be applied to making sure that we deliver services to the citizens of this country. And that is the focus that I have, and that's the focus that I think many South Africans have. They believe that we need to improve the condition of black people in this country. And money should not be moved to benefit a few. That is the focus that I have, and that's what I believe in.
I guess many people felt that the empowerment part of things is what you were speaking against. But it was quite interesting to actually, when you read the article, you're actually speaking about the middleman that must be removed when it comes to localization. You made an example of where in the process of fixing Eskom, you will need people with international expertise and suppliers who are based internationally, but you can't go directly to them because you need a middleman, someone who is local, who's going to be a conduit between Eskom and that particular company. And it's not only Eskom. I guess you were just making an example of how these rules on localization and BEE could be misused.
Absolutely. You have captured it very well. You are absolutely correct. The headline was saying that to save Eskom, empowerment must go. That was complete misrepresentation of what I was communicating in the article. So many people saw that empowerment must go, and of course they jumped up and they were angry, naturally so. But that's not what I was communicating. And those that took the time to, like you did, to look at the article and read it, they understood it clearly what it meant, and in fact they supported it. And nobody wants a middle person who does not add value in the equation. In the process, add up to some of the cost challenges that we typically face. We have limited funds generally and limited resources. We need to spend those limited resources wisely in order for us to address the many challenges that we are facing in this country.
Mteto Nyati, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Nyathi, of course, is a businessman, a board member at Eskom, and now he is set to become the chairman of a consulting firm, a tech firm, BSG, after buying a 40% stake in that particular business. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.